Now, let us discuss about the export procedure used for international marketing in India. In India, the export procedure is being regulated by the Imports and Exports Control Act of 1947. The central government announces rules, policies, procedures, and incentives for export from time to time. The procedure of export of goods from India is guided by these rules and regulations of the Government of India. Generally, the export procedure can be explained through the following stages. The first stage in the export procedure is receiving enquiries and sending quotation. At first, the importer sends an enquiry form to the exporter enquiring about the price, quality of goods, terms and conditions in which the exporter will be able to supply him the goods. In reply to this enquiry, the exporter sends him a form of a quotation or a pro forma invoice whereby he states all these details as to the quality of the goods, quantity of the goods, size and price, etc. In this form, the delivery schedule, mode of delivery, mode of packing, and the terms of payment are also provided by the exporter. The second stage is receipt of order or indent. After receiving the quotation, the importer sends an indent to the exporter. Generally, the indent contains details as to the price, quality, nature of packing, method of forwarding, mode of payment, etc. as to how the products needs to be delivered to the importer. Indents are generally of two kinds, open indent and closed indent. In a closed indent, the importer sends full details as to how he wants the exporter to send him the goods, the quality he wants, the quantity he wants, the markings he wants, the mode of transportation through which the delivery is to be made. Every details is being given by the importer, whereas in case of open indent, all details are not given by the importer. The exporter has the discretion to complete the formalities on his own through his skill and experience. The next stage is credit enquiry and obtaining letter of credit. It is very important for an exporter to verify the creditworthiness of the importer. The exporter would like to ensure that there is no risk of non-payment from the importer's side. For this purpose, the exporter generally asks the importer to send him a letter of credit. A letter of credit simply means a guarantee which is being given by the importer's bank that their bills up to a specified amount, if not paid by the importer, would be paid by the importing bank. The next step is to obtain export license and quota. In order to export certain items, export license is necessary, but it is not necessary for all kinds of goods. No export license is required for any goods exported by or under the authority of the central government, or any goods constituting personal baggage of a person going outside India, or any goods exported by post or by air under the conditions specified in postal notices issued by the postal authorities, or any goods imported and bounded in India or re-exported except to Nepal and Bhutan, or any goods exported in accordance with the terms of open general license. But for all other cases, export license is necessary. An export license is of the following types: 1. Open general license, 2. Quota license, 3. Newcomers license, 4. Free license, and 5. Limited free license. In case of commodities in short supply, a quota permit may be required along with an export license. In such cases, quota is based on the quantity and value of goods exported by the applicant in the post. The fifth stage is compliance with foreign exchange regulations. According to the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act of 1947, every exporter of goods has to furnish to the Controller of Customs or any other agency specified by the Reserve Bank of India a declaration that he will surrender the foreign exchange to the extent of full value of exports of goods to the Reserve Bank of India within a prescribed time. For this purpose, he has to prepare 4 copies of guaranteed remittance, which is also known as GR forms. The original copy of the GR form is sent to the customs office at the time of shipment of goods for verifying the value of the goods. The remaining 3 copies are handed over to a bank which deals in foreign exchange. This bank will forward 2 copies to the Reserve Bank of India. The foreign exchange, when received by the exporter, is to be deposited in that particular bank. The next step is to fix the exchange rate. Usually, in order to execute an export order, much time is required, and in that particular time, the exchange rate fluctuates a lot. So, for this particular reason, there is a need to fix the exchange rate before the payment will be made. The foreign exchange rate at which the payment will be made should be fixed preferably at the time of placing an order so that changes in the exchange rate do not lead to any dispute between the exporter and the importer. The next step is obtaining shipping order. The exporter enters into an agreement with the shipping company for hiring space in a ship either on his own or through freight brokers. If the consignment is very big, he may hire the entire ship. So, for this purpose, he has to enter into another kind of agreement with the shipping company. Such an agreement where the entire ship is being hired is called a chartered party agreement. After the agreement is being done, the shipping company gives a shipping order which contains instructions to the captain of the ship to accept on board of the vessel specified quantity of goods from the exporter. Now, shipping order is of 2 types. First is ready shipping order, whereby the name of the ship is and date of departure is being mentioned already in the shipping order. And the next type of shipping order is forwarding shipping order, whereby the date of departure is given but the name of the ship is not being given in the shipping order. The exporter comes to know about the name of the ship on the date of departure. Now, in case of shipping order, whether or not the exporter can send the goods through the given name of the ship on that particular date, the freight charge need to be paid in full. If the exporter fails to send the goods through that particular named ship or on that particular date, then the full freight is being given, which is a loss for the exporter. Such kind of freight is called dead freight. The next step is to pack, mark and forward the goods. Now, if instructions are already being given in the indent, then the exporter has to pack, mark, and forward the goods as per the instructions given in the indent. If there is no instructions being laid down, that is, if the indent is an open indent, then the exporter has the advantage of packing and marking the goods according to his own skill and experience. If the goods are not being packed according to the details given in the closed indent, then the importer has the option to reject the goods on delivery. So in this particular case, the exporter has to bear the loss of sending the goods. The goods should be properly marked according to the instructions, if any, so that they may be clearly distinguished from the other goods. Usually, a number, mark, and the port of destination are written on each package. It is also desirable to mention the weight or measurement on the packages. Now, an exporter may not be always able to do all the formalities on his own. For this purpose, generally a new exporter will engage a forwarding agent who will perform all these various formalities on behalf of the exporter in consideration for some commission. The next step is to prepare the invoice and consular invoice. The invoice is generally being prepared in triplicate. It contains details such as the name of the ship, ports of shipment, destination, indent numbers, details regarding packing and marking price of goods and other expenses. The invoice is prepared according to the terms and conditions of sale, that is, on the basis of price quotation sent to the importer. Some countries asked a consular invoice to be sent along with the invoice while exporting the goods. A consular invoice is an invoice prepared by the consul, who is a trade representative of the importer's country stationed in the exporting country, certifying the details and value of the goods. In simple terms, a consular invoice is a document certifying a shipment of goods and shows information such as consignor, consignee, and value of the shipment. A consular invoice can be obtained through a consular representative of the country the exporter is shipping the goods to. The customs authorities usually accept such invoice as a true statement of the value of goods and charge import duty on this value. The next step is to obtain customs permit.